What's up, everybody? Dice Sports here, and the Toronto Raptors just fired their head coach Dwayne Casey yesterday after they got swept by the Cavaliers in the second round for the second year in a row. And this is just insane. I really don't think it was Dwayne Casey's fault. I mean, it was, but it wasn't at the same time. I feel like it was 70% on the players and 30% on Dwayne Casey. Because it wasn't just Casey's fault that the offense couldn't get things going, especially DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan is called the star of the Toronto Raptors and the leader of the Raptors. Even though he has consistently just been a bust in the playoffs, he cannot play in the playoffs. Same with Lowry. Kyle Lowry still does a nice job, but he doesn't play as good as he can. DeMar DeRozan just plays terrible. Serge Ibaka played terrible. All around bad things. Dwayne Casey, I don't think he won the official Coach of the Year, but on the one where like the players and other coaches vote, Dwayne Casey won that Coach of the Year. So I don't really know if that's the real one or not. And the Raptors just fired one of the best head coaches in the NBA. This was their best record in franchise history. Well, two of the best. He broke the record last year. Now he broke that record this year in best regular season records. But as we take a look here, they were the most complete team in the NBA. Let's be honest. They had good offense, great defense, and an amazing bench. The only team that I really saw beating the Raptors is themselves, which they did. They always do this to themselves, and it's in the playoffs. They put together amazing regular seasons, and then they just flop in the playoffs. I don't really understand it. This is their second year in a row being swept by LeBron and the Cavs in the second round. Just crazy. Right when the playoffs began, I thought the Raptors had a clear, easy path to the finals. But then I thought about it more and more, and I thought, well, they always do terrible in the playoffs, but maybe this year's the year. Maybe they don't break. But after they struggled against the Wizards in the first round, I thought, well, they're done. No matter who they play in the second, they're going to lose. I did not expect a sweep, though. Just in Game 4 against the Cavs alone, OG Anunoby had 2 points. Serge Ibaka only had 1 rebound. When your starting power forward only gets 1 rebound, you know you're in trouble. DeMar DeRozan had 13 points, and Kyle Lowry had 5. And Jonas Valanciunas led the Raptors in rebounds, and he only had 5 rebounds. Your center, who was supposed to be one of the top rebounders in the league, only had 5 rebounds in Game 4. And in the whole series, Jakob Poeltl, the backup center, had a 33.3% field goal percentage. That is horrible for a center. Inside the paint, you should be able to make at least 50% of your shots, or a good 47. But 33%, that is terrible. And Serge Ibaka had a 39% field goal percentage, a 30% three-point percentage, and only had 4.3 rebounds a game. Fred VanVleet, their star point guard off the bench, had a horrible series against the Cavs. 35.5% field goal percentage, 31.8 three-point percentage. Just horrid. But he did take care of the ball. He only had 2 turnovers in the whole series, which is great for a point guard. So I'll give him that. He handled the ball really well, made some nice passes, but he just could not score. And DeMar DeRozan, the star shooting guard on the Raptors, shot 0% from 3. That is possibly one of the worst playoff performances I've ever seen in my life. DeMar DeRozan just took a crap in the playoffs. The Raptors' offense had 54 turnovers, and compared to the Cavs' offense, who only had 28. I mean, how? The Raptors had 98 personal fouls, and the Cavs had 77. And LeBron just destroyed them. 34 points per game, 8.3 rebounds, 11.3 assists, 1.8 steal, and 1 block on 55.3% field goal percentage. LeBron just destroyed the Raptors. Whoops. But that was expected because LeBron was by himself in the first round. But let's give credit where credit is due. Even though LeBron did everything himself in the first round against the Pacers, against the Raptors, the Cavs team has really came together. You had Kevin Love getting 20.5 points with 11.5 rebounds a game, with 1 steal and 1 block. That was really good. Kevin Love played pretty good. Then you had Kyle Korver exploding for 14.5 points a game, 2.5 rebounds on 58% field goal percentage and a 56% three-pointer. Kyle Korver just played amazing, and so did J.R. Smith with 12.5 points a game, 1.5 steals on a 63% field goal percentage and a 76.9% from 3. Just crazy how good Kyle Korver and J.R. Smith played. They helped in the destruction of the Toronto Raptors in the second round. Then you had Jeff Green, who had about 12 points and a block with a 43.8% from 3-point range. You had George Hill averaging 10.3 points. When you have that many guys averaging double-digit in points, you know you're going to win the series. The Raptors even allowed Tristan Thompson to average 61.5% field goal percentage. How do you let Tristan Thompson get a 61.5% field goal percentage on you? Especially in these days, Tristan Thompson has been trashed this year. He even had 5.3 points and 4.8 rebounds per game. Doesn't sound like much, but when you look at the series stats, Tristan Thompson actually played really well against the Raptors. The Raptors couldn't do anything against anybody. They couldn't stop anybody. The Cavs even swept the Raptors with Larry Nance and Rodney Hood rarely playing, and you had Jordan Clarkson, who struggled the whole series with turnovers, poor shooting, couldn't do anything. Jordan Clarkson struggled. Larry Nance and Rodney Hood barely even played, and you still were able to sweep the Raptors. That is so impressive. So whose fault was it? Was it the Raptors just being the Raptors in the playoffs, or has the Cavs finally came together? And let's look at the whole DeMar versus Lowry situation. You fired your Coach of the Year candidate in Dwayne Casey, but you still have the players who have proven again and again they keep flopping in the playoffs, especially DeMar DeRozan. He didn't lead his team in any category. Again, 0% from 3 and a measly 43.9 field goal percentage. Lowry didn't play that good, but he played good enough. He had 17.8 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 8.8 assists per game, with 57% field goal percentage, a 45.8 3-point percentage. Lowry had a pretty good series, but Lowry had 13 turnovers and 11 personal fouls, while DeMar had 8 turnovers and 15 personal fouls. And you may see how DeMar's shooting percentages were horrible. He shot quite a bit. He took 66 total shots, while Lowry only took 42. So guys, that is it for today. Let me know what you guys think about the Raptors.